written about already. Here's our project. This is Dr. Melamed and I have been working on it together with Bill Greenberg, a little input from Doug here. We're trying to figure a way to, so that whatever happens with Hollywood Temple Beth, we are memorialized and institutionalized, first of all, online, because that's the easiest way. Then, excuse me, some kind of archive, repository, and museum, which may be able to continue going on here. And this, I need Dr. Norbert, you bend the arm of our Iranian friends, because they need this as much as we need it. Really, because this is, they have a possibility to put in an entire section about the story of the Iranian Jews, which is a very important story that nobody knows and should be memorialized also. So I just to force you, go to the landing page, go to About Us, and you see Dr. Melamed put up something very unusual for a Jewish source. I put up the letter Bet on the top as our logo. Bet El, Bet for Bereshit, the beginning. Right, and of course I use this as a stylized, it's a Rashi bet so that nobody would recognize it, so it provokes curiosity. And we have the gargoyle, who, as Dr. Melamed said, looks like Jack Benny. Everyone remember the Jack Benny pose? Wondering, pondering, questioning what this is, and looking back on the world. I'm trying to figure if I can Photoshop and put LA in the background. Rodan, okay. I thought to put him, but to Photoshop and put Hollywood sign in the background, because this is LA. Yeah.
Since you're referring to Iranian culture, it's like the Iranian New Year, you know.
Right, Nowruz is coming up. Yeah. Right, it's coming up. So that's one of many things. So I have a mission statement about trying to share the past of the LA Jewish community in particular, but bring in other elements with it, and looking at the different levels. And we think about it in one way or another. Hollywood Temple Beth has been involved directly with the key elements that shape not only Los Angeles, but also the United States, America. So we have the first wave, you know, and I'll show you step by step. I'm going to show you that. So just to learn more, we have here about exhibitions and collections, right? A lot of things that we're planning on developing. And then a little bit of photographs, you know, so as you scroll through, some are, you know, are saying some a little bit thought-provoking. What does this mean? What does this mean? We want to entice curiosity on this. And then here, our mission statement, our virtual exhibits, support our sponsors. And I've put the Iranian Federation as a sponsor in it. They should come around and sponsor us. Hollywood Temple Beth, right? I put it up prominently on Facebook and the YouTube link, and my own discussions and comments. And then a tour of our building. I have it in here as well. Just going to go back in, right? So that people can see. Now, how do I go back? I go back to About Us. All right, we're still learning how to use this page, the whole thing. All right, a little bit, directors and advisors background About Us, education and research. Notice I'm trying to put provocative pictures in there that are not the standard typical Jewish theme. Right, so a Yemenite teacher in the little corner there. And some essays. We're going to learn how to tighten this up, and possible future themes about tying in with international affairs, Middle East, Ukraine, and so on. I want to go here, and then Dr. Melamed will talk a little bit more about the archival effect. But I have here, if you see this chart, the different themes that I want to go through. One of them is the prehistory of LA's Jews, because I think I want for the general public to know who are the Jews. Right, a little bit about them. So there's a whole web page, PDF file that I put together. And Dr. Norbert found the history. This is my essay, beginning of Jewish history and its connection to Los Angeles, and then Jewish roots of Los Angeles in essay. So people can go through and find this material. Now, I go in now. Obviously, the main part, Hollywood, because this is where we start to tie in. So, story on the Jewish factor in Hollywood. Dr. Melamed found this, and we're going down, and we find some videos that I made here with Rabbi Kotler on our Jews Funny, about his work with Jewish comedians, or with an Israeli filmmaker that lives here in Los Angeles that I interviewed about the Israeli roles in Hollywood. All right, so we'll be loading up more material as we go. I just wanted to give you this. Yeah. Yeah, Eli.
Ellie, I learned so much this week. Like you say, for example, it's perception. Like country music, they say it's like the white music, but they were like the banjo, the instrument came from West Africa, the origins. Wouldn't you? Oh, well.
Right.
Influences.
Right, but Nashville, right, yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, the Buffalo Soldiers, they had also at that time, yeah.
They know continue with the tradition of
So there are a lot of elements, right, that were taken over, appropriated, right? And then what is Elvis Presley but being influenced by Africa, right? And then made it kosher for the white audience. And then it's claimed he also threw in some. Yeah, I also threw in some I from cantorial music from the rabbi next door because he used to be the Shabbos grade. He said they played the cantorial records on Shabbos. So you learn some of that too. So the next one, and this is important about how Hollywood Temple Beth ties in. So I have some of I put in the files, the lectures that I gave on the history of Hollywood Temple Beth, and then Roger Rosen, also his story about his memories, recollection. Right? We're trying to personalize all these as much as we can. We come to Jews escaping Hitler. And because that's right. So the Hollywood wave, everybody understands, shaped America. And, I mean, by the way, Warner Brothers, the father was the president, right? And who else? I watched Casablanca, the movie, and I realized that the director was a member. And then it turns out the producer is also a member of Hollywood Temple Beth. This great classic, right? He's looking at you and played against that. It's Hollywood Temple Beth. There. So next wave, though, we don't understand this. Dr. Melamed pointed this out because he's been working with it in his work with the Psychoanalytic Institute. Los Angeles became the Mecca for German Jews in the 20s and 30s. This was the place to go. I was many settled in New York as an intellectual center, but they wanted the beach and the sun. And right, that's right. Right, and they shaped American intellectual society. So one of them, the what? Film industry also because they were involved in the music scores, the filming itself, the music, right? By the Lemley Universal Studios, although he came decades before, was also part of that German wave. And then, of course, the first one I put in here is Jeff Buck with his story. All right, and then I'm going to load it with more stories and more material. We have Goethe Institute helping us, the Museum of the Academy of Motion Pictures Music will help us. Then I get about our survivors. Well, who do I have? Obviously, right? If not Joe, I have your 99th birthday where we had the presentation of the arc of the cover in your memory, and then the beautiful reading from Ronnie Duran. And then the video you made with the German television. And then Barbara, where's Barbara? There she is, right? I've got you singing the Yiddish, the little child, that song, and your testimony. This is either at the Shaw Foundation or made with the, I don't know if, yeah, Shaw, I don't know if it was with the Shaw Foundation or did it with the Jewish Federation, because they started it before. So, yeah, so I've got you there. Then I've got my mother there. What? We're going to add more. So, okay, we got stuff. We need to start working on the Gulag escapees, right? Who? Oh, Elizabeth. Also, yes, Elizabeth. We have quite a few. And then from Tehran to LA, right? Escape from the Gulag. I'm waiting for that to fill in. From Tehran to LA, got to get the Soviet Jews, the Iranian Jews in. We got to get a chapter on our great rainbow of Jews, really, about Jews from all sorts of backgrounds that are here in LA, and Ashkenazic, Sephardic, Ethiopian, yeah, whatever we've got, and new Jews, right, returning Jews. And then a few other things that we have. We found Mapping Jewish LA, interesting websites. So those are the key things. And then we get to research and education. This is what we're looking for, archival sources. So we're pulling together some things. And I started to put together just on the bottom, just some other sample archival pieces so that historians, researchers can go to and find these pieces. Where is it? Yeah. So like this, the original history of Hollywood Temple Beth by George Bilson. And then there was a revised version that was made 10 years ago here. Some newspaper pieces, a piece from in the Congressional Record. We're going to start to load this up. So with that, I'm going to let Dr. Melamed come up and talk about, using an archive. And the ideas in here we can get, because now it becomes a quasi-academic research site, getting funding from grants and foundations so that it can maintain itself. Okay. Because you need to go, now we want to go to the next step, which you want to maintain it. You want to have original material, and then you want to create an actual visual center in person. As Mashiach wird kommen. Yeah. They know. I have to get them to buy into it. That's not yet. I don't know. Let's see. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get them to buy it. Yeah.
They gave us a positive answer. It's interested.
They're not ready yet.
Oh, they are not ready. So
They're not the internal issues. All right, let's go ahead here.
Okay. We almost have had a seminar here with all this.
Go to the microphone. Yeah. Okay. But come close to the mic. Oh, let me give you the talk on this.
Okay, we just almost had a kind of a seminar. People asked and suggested, and just was a small segment what we have done. And Rabbi excellently explains that, but I want just to add, it is not a bargain cheap for with Iranians or with someone else, what we can get from this. We're not bargain. We're trying to do something which would last, which will be in perpetuity. And this is a website, it's more like a public benefit website. Again, it's not to show someone and give us something this and something that. And we've been thinking how we can, what we can offer. Besides, this is a very valuable stuff which we have there. If you will find at home the page and can read, you will be interested. It's also films, cinema, research, historical pieces, breaking news. But we're thinking deeper what we can offer for the interested public, for the scholars, not scholars, students, and everything which we're doing, which had been done before, nowadays digitized. It's a digital archives. So what we're in perspective trying to create on some of the archival platform, it's a digital archive. What is a digital archive? It's not like boxes in the storage room. You have keywords and key phrases. It's like you do in Google. So you just try to find something but related to our mission, to what we are doing. So you type a keyword, a phrase, a name, a date, a personal name, and something and other documents come up. So I have this just a sample how it works. It's not ours. It's just the basic things which we eventually will integrate in our system. So you can read here what is this archival collection about, online archival collection, and you can move up. Oh, me, okay. Great, yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So take another glasses and go to it. Okay, so you can see online archival repositories. Actually, it's a repository of collective and individual memory. You just mentioned, someone mentioned probably Carmen Elizabeth Wolf. So that's something like we have a collective memory and individual memory. And what in perspective we want to do, Elizabeth Wolf, in addition to other survivors' testimony, to have a record of her testimony, her name, and other relevant keyword that Elizabeth Wolf can be found, can be retrieved here on this archival collection. Now we will go further and we will see. Okay, so this is memory in action. It is us embracing past for the future. And this is what I just told. Our intention to create online archive to document the Jewish history in Los Angeles, which we partially started collecting these essays, to ensure searchability of our online content, to record seminars and discussion. And we almost had a seminars here. We will be collecting and indexing documents reflecting the existential geopolitical and humanitarian situation worldwide. It's just what Rabbi talked about. Things have quickly changed in Gaza with how world reflect on that, how aid is coming, what Israeli government is doing, and tensions between American government and Israeli government. All this should be eventually reflected. Okay, let me go next. Okay, so this was it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see.
Okay, just you can move up. You can move up next year. So this been cataloged for some time with various institutions, but what I want to show you these frames, how these historic photographs are being. Can you a little bit up it a little higher? Yeah, like this. Right, that's that was intentionally done because I waited that it would be a response from Barbara. We have a phenomenon of Lodge Ghetto. Of course, we can speak a lot about this. Is Chaim Mordechai Rumkowski and Hans Biebov. Rumkowski was a king of the ghetto, and it's a very controversial figure. This is a historic photograph. Let's go next, the next frame. Can you move up, please? Okay, thanks. So what's interesting about everything, I believe some survivors like Joe, like Barbara, many others still have this document. This was the main document, your ID, Arbeitsamt Ghetto, the labor department in the ghetto. But what was interesting now about this document, it's a stamp. You see transport. This person was assigned to deportation. And that says transport and even the number where he should report. And okay, so that document is retrievable, and you can see keywords, identification documents, lodge ghetto, deportations. Okay, we can move up. Again, I chose lodge ghetto because it's a phenomenal. It's like a state in a state. It's like absolutely for a time being independent Jewish socialist labor production facility, big lodge ghetto. And this is a meeting of Judenrat, Jewish Council, again, a controversial matter of Jewish Council. In a way, collaboration with German authority. But on the other side, they gave work, sustenance, and life to hundreds of thousands of Jews. It was the last ghetto liquidated, probably before Theresienstadt, in 45. And this is a photograph of Rumkowski on the forefront and the other members. It's like a council meeting. Okay, we can go up. That's a very interesting photograph. Kids, Jewish kids, you can see here, but they are dressed in a Ordnung police uniform, Jewish police uniform, militia uniform. And if we're looking for this, we're looking for keyword children and ghetto, Jewish order police, Ordnungsdienst, and things like that. Okay, let's go up. And that's how people live, rations. Everything was rationed in ghettos, not only on this, on everything, Kartoffel, Gemüse, German thing, I mean, vegetables, potato, everything rationed. Looking for that, food rationing in the ghettos, keywords. Let's go up again. Next one. Okay, many people manage, not many, but probably at least some people managed to escape the Holocaust with the help of Red Cross. Red Cross papers, like nowadays, were extremely important, and Germans, the Nazis, actually honored these papers. So if someone was living outside the zone of Nazi dominance, most of the East Central Europe, let's say somewhere in Middle East or Latin America or anywhere else in the world, this kind of a thing at least provided for receiving packages and eventually maybe even for exit visa. So Red Cross papers were extremely important during the Holocaust, and there is a collection of such papers. Okay, let's go again one up. It is not a chronological order here, but I want to show you how extensive the online digital archives can be. There is a collection, and many may still have them, of these postcards, regular postcards published in Germany and Austria. This is more against social democrats. I mean, most of them were probably Jews, but it's satirical cards reflecting how these social democrats looking like Jewish, look like Jews being chased out by the Nazis, huge banners there. And this is keywords anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic publication. Germany could be Austria as well. Let's go again up. It's probably most controversial topics in the history of the Holocaust. We're not dealing with Holocaust only, just one. I picked up this to be more clear, more exemplary. It's a Jewish police. It's like a roll call for Jewish police, and there were hundreds of Jewish policemen. Many say they tried to save themselves first, they helped. The others were not necessarily that good, and there are many instances how in post-war Europe and Israel they were tried or simply killed by those who remember what they have done. Controversial topics. Let's go up again. This is how people lived in ghetto. It's a photograph called, it's a real photograph. A doctor visits ill in the ghetto. Crowded rooms, terrible sanitary conditions, and medical help extremely needed, very rarely given. So keywords, ghettos, medical help, and life in the ghetto. Let's go up again. Unique documents. This is a letters. People were allowed. You saw this zone of interest. It's not about Holocaust, but it is Holocaust next door. So people were allowed to write letters, but on special forms from concentration camp. This is the how 3K concentration camp. It's a special form, everything provisioned. You can only write how you good, nothing, no complaints. Okay, let's go up. It's another part of this letter. I mean, another letter. This is from Neuengamme. Same. No, it's a camp called Neuengamme in the north of Germany. There are tens and tens of camps, and they also documented, but the forms are similar. Let's go again up. It's how unfolded. This is front side. This is unfolded. This is where you can write your text. But the translation would tell that basically everything good. I received a package. Please send me another package. This generic text. Okay, let's go up. And anti-Semitism is prone and typical not only for Europe, right? This is early years. This is probably either late 30s or right after the war. It's a cartoon, but it's an American cartoon, anti-Semitic postcard. You gave a big tip to a wardrobe girl, but she gave me a good, very good coat. So this is American. I mean, it's not that severely anti-Semitic, but it's showing Jews in grotesque and satirical way. Yes, please. And it's showing Jews in this way. I mean, it was done in a short time, so it should have been enlarged, but just the technical things, how to do that. So these cartoons, anti-Semitic depiction, American, were pretty typical how people would not see this things now with all this inclusion, equity, and other things. Okay, yeah.
So, there was something they said, write a letter.
Oh yeah, that's from the camp. I mean, you have a form. Both. I mean, you can write. I mean, those are letters from the camp. We don't have letters.
Friday.
Not at all. You only say that you are okay and you received the package. Yeah. I mean, nobody would write this, but you also receive letters from outside, but those are not preserved. I mean, this is from people who were recipient of this letter from
Some
the camp.
letters that were writing, they dug it on the ground. They
Oh, the real,
It says-
like, the, diaries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did that.
Yeah.
That's a-
Yeah.
That's not sent outside. I was
Oh.
confused. Yeah, no, the typical, it's also in the Soviet Union, the same thing. So the story is that a Jew writes a letter, houses in the land, and he writes, it is good in the land, but when you write it in Yiddish, it says good in their air. In their air, deep under the ground, very deep.
Yeah, there are many such either things, right? Yeah. Like mine is son for my enemies means so good, like lectures. Exactly. Yeah, but just wait a moment, we will finish soon and okay, can we move up? Say, I mean, it's double-sided. It's Marienbad or Carlsbad, this resorts nowadays, Czech Republic, Sudetenland. And in a way, it's a text here, but that depicts Orthodox Jews like they occupied these resorts, Marienbad, Mariansky Lazny, Carlsbad, Karlovy Vary now. So this typical, I mean, anti-Semitic attitude or just satiric attitude towards the Jews were pretty common in Europe in interwar time. So we can go up. And see, this is anti-Semitic, but what I want to show, not only Jews are depicted here in a grotesque way. If you see closer, I'm not sure if it's well seen, but you can see Russians, other ethnic, I mean, Indians, English, I mean, but there are definitely some Jews here on the forefront, but most of the public are not Jewish. It's also Karlovy Vary, a very popular place in Sudetenland, in Czechoslovakia.
Taking over our.
Yeah, and Carlsbad, right. And it was very, very popular, but it's more like for rich and wealthy for capitalist society, but Jews, of course, among them. You can only see a Roman Catholic priest there. So it's like grotesque and in a way anti-Semitic. Okay, let's go a little more. It's American, actually. I mean, I'm sorry, this is German. This is typically German. This is how they saw Jews, especially the Nazis. This is a Jewish peddler, likely. 19th century, beginning of 20th century, is how they arrived in America. And this is a Jew, a capitalist, a bloodsucker, those who should be purged from Aryan Germany. So it's a typical anti-Semitic depiction of the German Jews. Okay, we can go, we're almost done. That's the last slide. The big piece, the big portion of any documents are periodicals. I just pick up as a French newspaper, Le Journal, and it's in 1942. It's about the warfare in Northern Africa. And it's also a great source. So everything, all these documents, we can, in our group, we can catalog and index. The most important things are indexed. Le Journal here, the name of newspapers French, Second World War, geopolitical analysis, such and such things. And I believe this is the last slide.
So I would say this by the French, to the best of my ability, the headline is the Anglo-American aggression against our North Africa.
That's exactly what I didn't involve into details, but that's exactly what historical analysis is. Thank you very much. It's a Vichy France. I mean, that's part of the so-called unoccupied Vichy France. And a journal, it's a public publication of collaboration is the French government. So what Americans and British landed in Northern Africa and started battle for Northern Africa, especially Libya, but that and Morocco and Algeria. But those, I mean, well, Algeria and Tunisia, and those were French colonies, and that's why I say this aggression against our north is still Department of France under the Vichy France. But every article, everything could be a great historical source, and just didn't go into details. Yes. So I could show that just to show that probably with God willing, it will be help. It will be part of our work with this website, this our we can call it group benefit corporation, which I believe will have a good future. So thank you for that. And if you have questions, Yeah.
I was looking at the code and the woman, I didn't understand where it's anti-Semitic, where is that part of it?
I mean, with the code,
Going to back, it's all the aliens, not just Jews, all aliens
Oh,
taking
they can-
over our Karlovari Palestine.
it's a German territory, it's Sudetenland originally. You don't see German workers, German peasants there, just
It's the rich people from everywhere else.
blonde and Aryans. You see all these foreigners who are wealthy, who are fat, who are grotesquely depicted, and they have these benefits of using this resort, not ordinary workers and then peasants like German. I mean,
I
so-
admit that the both part before you said it was from America, you had like. this-
Code?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
it's just like Jews treat, I mean, it's
Sweet.
like a Jewish way to speak, exactly. I mean, you can recognize that. I mean, they gave me something big because she gave me good codes, not something, yeah.
This is what I expect from the Jewish guy. He's swindling, he's cheating us out, right?
Maybe it's not his code, maybe something else. It's just a Jewish way to do
Yeah.
it, just like that, yeah. Okay, we're done.
Alright.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah.
Good.
Thanks, yeah.
At some point here, a lot of organization individuals and have people contribute. So that when the outside comes up, you have the essential thing that will help maintain funded. Other things that are possible. As we add information material, people want to see their families involved. So that's what I'm counting on. So wish everybody Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Dr. Melamed. It's a lot of fun putting this together. Also, I'm surprised. I'm watching it to grow and develop, and I'm surprised at what we are. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, okay, good. I'll think of some things where you may be able to help us with some of the, talk about your own connections and maybe pull them in. I'll get to that. Okay, listen, everybody, Shabbat Shalom to all of you. And we can say goodbye for now. Shabbat Shalom.